you guys.
How has the convention been treating you guys so far? Everything good?
Fantastic.
It's been the best ever, actually. I love this place.
This is so great. You guys are so wonderful. Thank you so much.
I'm just hanging out. I don't know about you.
It's good you're
This is a convention.
Now, have any of you had the chance to head out into Indianapolis and see some sights or do some things?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I'm afraid of the outdoors.
Oh, chicken.
It's a good thing you're here with us then.
I had a little steak last night.
Oh, a little steak? You had a steak? Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting cow?
Interrupt. Yay! I love that joke.
I bet you didn't know it was going to be a comedy panel here.
I just told him that like 5 minutes ago. Now he's like...
Now, this is the only way I'll never forget it. Because otherwise I go, knock, knock. Who's there? Interrupting cow. Interrupting cow who?
Who?
Well, I can't remember. What was my last name?
And that joke is why I eat steak.
Hi, can I start by saying something?
Yes.
First of all, thank you all so very much for coming here today.
Yes. Thank you.
You know, the greatest gift of my life is doing what I love to do. And the only reason I get to do what I love to do and doing voiceovers and things is because people enjoy it. And when I come to a place like this and I see you guys, I am grateful so much for your appreciation, for you guys enjoying the game. And really, honestly, because of you, we all get to have this wonderful life and meet you. And thank you.
This guy's my hero, all right? Seriously. I've been listening to your voice for almost as long as I've been playing video games.
Yahoo!
You were number one.
You're number one. Thank you very much. You're number one too. Why are you number one? Why Luigi number one? Baby Mario likes you very much. Whoopee!
The fun literally never stops on this stage here, you guys. We've got one of our brave volunteers out there with a wireless microphone. Where are you out here? Because we're going to take some questions.
Are we going to take questions right away?
Well, I don't know. Is there anything else you want to chat about?
Don't you want to ask us a couple things first?
Yeah, I'll ask you stuff. Do you like stuff?
Beef?
What's your favorite stuff?
Oh, I like Mario games. No, it's just so great to be in Indianapolis. I have never been here before. First of all, I don't know if you guys know, but you're actually famous for race car driving. It's like Indianapolis. Do you know, I've only heard Indy 500 and I really didn't think, oh, that's here.
You thought it was Independent 500 or something like that, right?
I thought, oh, they're independent filmmaking, 500. No, I mean, I really, it's just, I knew, but it didn't register. Did you know?
I did.
You did?
Yeah, I knew there was a place called Indianapolis.
I get that little hat a lot. That little hat, you know.
I think the Dream Project has happened with Uncharted. I think that it kind of changed my life. You know, and being not just voice, it's the full body motion capture, which has been grueling for 10 years, but and it's led to other opportunities. So it's that one, you know, and I don't have to change my voice. It's just basically this one saying,
Yeah, lucky. Really lucky, buddy.
yeah, you know, it's like, I sound like a penguin, you know, doing that one. But you know, it's different, and it's been, you know, now I'm kind of interested in I'm sure you guys are too, like the VR stuff that we're starting to see, and there's going to be slowly, as soon as they make games that don't make people nauseous, apparently.
Well, that's our games. That's our games at Gearbox. They don't make you nauseous. That all we can
Gearbox,
say.
we don't make you vomit. I'm the new voice of Gearbox. Gearbox, no more nausea. Brought to you by Dramamine.
Good choice, you. So,
How about you, Jim?
I'm like you. I've had the incredible privilege to be in so many amazing projects.
That's because we're old now.
Shut up. You're old now.
I am.
I like that the gender gap is closing and I get to do some of the boys' jobs. I love mocap. I love know of me, anything where I can sing, ride a horse, and work with my friends, sign me up.
Oh, so, hi everybody, I'm David Eddings. I'm the voice of Claptrap in Borderlands.
They knew that already.
That's the only thing I'm known for. That and I owe a few people money. Good luck. So, I have a dream project that I just got to talk about the other day, as a matter of fact, because I was hanging out with my buddy Sean, who you guys met earlier, and we were hanging out at our buddy Notch's place, and I got to meet Justin Roiland. And Justin, yeah, you know he is, Rick and Morty, right? Yeah. So, I can't hold him to it, but I got him really drunk, and he promised me that I was going to get to be in a cartoon at some point, so I might have to get him drunk again, who knows, but he did tell me that, and so I'm hoping I might actually get paid for once to do voiceover work, because I actually work at Gearbox, so I don't make money like these guys do.
You have a salary.
I make a shit ton of money because y'all been buying my games. That's really nice of y'all. Thank you very much.
We get hired and fired on the same day.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, they can't fire me.
Right.
Yeah. It's a real bad PR move, you know?
Yeah, we're not gonna cry for
So anyway, so I'm
seriously, can I be the voice of Gearbox?
Absolutely.
Me too.
All of us.
Yes, absolutely. Everybody. I don't know if you know this or not, but did you know that we gave Troy Baker his start in video game voice acting?
And nobody will forgive you for that.
Yeah, exactly. Well deserved.
So this is going to sound ridiculous, but I'm living my dream. You know, every time I get a job, if somebody says, will you come in and say, look, I have a Coca-Cola in my hand, I'm like, yippee, I can do it. It's like being able to play in a sandbox. But of course, you know, for me, getting called, coming to a Mario game, going up to Seattle and going to the studio and having sushi and watching Mario or doing these things, it's just, I'm so happy. And it's actually a dream job to come out and meet fans. You see, one thing I've learned, the difference between us and an electrician, this is a big difference. People come up to us and say, oh my gosh, I love what you do, and thank you for being in your games. You're so fun, I really enjoy what you do. And you know, the electrician makes this thing, and nobody says, hey, thanks a lot, man, my kids had a nightlife when they had to be, and I every time I plugged a toaster in there, you know, they had, so,
It's my phone.
See, I love electricians. All I want for Christmas is a new panel.
yay! And we already have a panel, so here it is.
But Charles, you're right. You know, people come up to us all the time and they ask, you know, they kind of give us a lot of unearned adoration at times. They praise us, and I tell people, we're just like you.
Yeah.
You know, we pay somebody to put our pants on one leg at a time.
Yeah, right? You know, it's really true. So, I mean, so that's what I wish for everybody, is that you do what you love to do in life. Whether you get that experience of the wonderful gratitude that we feel, do what you love to do, follow your heart and live it with passion and joy, because this is such a brief journey. I can say that because I'm the old one here, right? So it's a brief journey, so enjoy it so much. And I'm always grateful to a place like PopCon, because you get to come here, meet friends for life, and see people that love the same things that you love. It's the greatest, so be happy.
Good advice. Now, as we've already demonstrated on the stage here, some voices are very easy to just slip into and go with. Some, not so much. Charles, I don't know if you want to start us off on this one, if you can think of anything.
Well, if I ever
Today, apparently. Today is his example.
So, if somebody like asked me to do something in a voiceover session that I couldn't do, or that I got like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to do that.
Challenging role.
Oh, yeah.
Something that was challenging, yeah.
Waking up in the morning, that's really hard. Now, it's hard not to be Wario when you get up in the morning, you drop the coffee packet on the ground, down, then you reach down to pick it up, drop the coffee cup, and it breaks, and then you try to clean that up, and the broom breaks. For me, it's like acting is like this great gift. It's like come and play in our sandbox, and you go in there and you have a wonderful time. Advertising was harder for me because, my temptation is always to make people happy, so I wanted to do what they wanted to hear. And as soon as you want to do what somebody else wants to hear, rather than being real and into your character and what you're doing, you've lost it. You'll never get that job. But then still, I think when I learned that lesson, I would still try, in the studio, it's like, I want to make sure I get what you want to hear. And the overwork, instead of just being in the moment, like the dog chasing the ball on the beach doesn't say, I wonder if I should waggle my tail now or when I get it, He just does it, And so you train, let it all go have fun and have a blast. But there is that moment, when you're doing advertising and you look through the window and you've got the national representative, the international representative, the producer, the director, and you see them going like this. And you go, oh my gosh, your heart sinks. You're like, I'm giving them the worst reading for Burger King in the world. My life is ruined. And they're going, I don't know whether to get the fish taco or the chicken taco.
Exactly.
You don't know, right? So
Did you use the interrupting cow joke? I'm just curious.
Yay! I love that joke. Can I tell you a joke? Okay. How do you get Pikachu onto a bus? You Pokemon. You get it? Get it? Because he's a Pokemon. That's as
All my
dark as I
jokes
get.
compared to yours are completely inappropriate, by the way. I just want you to know that.
Okay. What about you? How about?
I had to turn down a Valtrex commercial as Claptrap once, but that's about it. That was tough. Nobody knows what Valtrex is. That's good, by the way. No, it's not. That's bullshit. Look, I'm not actually a voice actor. I work at Gearbox and
He hires us.
And I just gotta give myself the role.
Promised.
So, yeah, they're gonna work. But here's the thing: I've never auditioned for a role in my life, so I've never had to have that
Maybe you
challenge.
should.
No, maybe I should or should not. No, because right now I'm batting 1,000. I've never been turned down for anything. I get no rejection. Right? I don't know what it's like. Not this thing. You guys have ever been rejected, but I'm betting.
I get
What time is it?
rejected, yeah.
I know, so I don't have to deal with that. That's kind of nice.
It's not personal.
It's not personal.
Most challenging job I have. I substitute in for Ellen doing Dory. She only does the movies and I do everything else. And it is the single most difficult thing that I do. I keep asking, will she do? No, okay. Oh my God. It's so daunting. So that's the hardest one.
Do Dory.
Oh no.
Please, I want to hear it. Please.
Oh, I've seen a boat. Just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep. Hello, wave. This is what people don't know about him. He's actually, your range and your repertoire.
Everything's so easy.
He's goddamn fucking Nolan North, right?
No, the thing is like what Charles was saying, everything is so much fun that we get to do. I'll tell you, there's a cartoon at Nickelodeon I've done, it's called Breadwinners, if anybody saw Breadwinners. One guy, great. That's why it's canceled. And that's not a joke. But I auditioned to be, my wife is very proud, this Viking beaver.
And basically he talks like this, and hey, you breadwinners, and he's really loud.
And I didn't know when I auditioned to do that voice that he would become kind of popular in the show. And then they decided he would sing kind of like that Gore band, like, you will go to school, you will go to college. And they were new animators, new guys. And okay, let's try it again.
Oh my God.
And again, and again. And I'd be like, I don't think I can do this anymore. It's the one voice that I have, like, it's out. Never audition with that again, ever, because it was just, it was my own fault.
Yeah, right.
You don't realize and it just was, it was more work than I wanted to do. It was fun, but that was one that just kind of, you can't really support that. It's really in the throat. You can't really support a lot of voices. You support with your diaphragm, and you kind of keep it as long as you get the breath.
I should be taking notes. Hold on.
But a lot of people don't know that. I don't know about you, but like if you have a cold, you can work. But if you have bronchitis, like which I get, you're done. It's like because there's no air to support any voice you do. But I could be talking like this, but I could still go with Dodgeball, carpal, doing that kind of thing. Yeah, I can do Christopher Walken on a cold, whatever. No problem. Sometimes I dream I have claws and a tail. Okay. Yeah.
How about that?
So let's see. So we do want to get to some questions out here in the audience. Let's see, has our volunteer made it around there? He is a brave young soul with, we've got 2 microphones. We're going to go one this side, one that side. Raise your hand if you have a question.
We got one right here down front.
Here we go. That's a perfect first stop.
First off, you've all been such an integral part of my love for gaming, so thank you all for being here. It means a lot. My question is for Jennifer and Nolan. You've both done multiple Assassin's Creed games and, of course, the Mass Effect trilogy. How connected were you to that character, and how did you feel when you found out that character's gonna bite it?
Well, my Mass Effect guy is very small, right? I just did something, that's one of those incidental roles, I think, that I just kind of went in there. So that's more her question on that side. But Assassin's Creed, very quickly, I found out the character was dead through like Twitter. Yeah, somebody said, how do you feel about Desmond dying? I'm like, yeah, I did. In fact, Assassin's Creed 3 was kind of Ubisoft's kind of like, sorry, when we went back in to do the voice recordings to his father. And it was a bunch of exposition, quite frankly. But my agents made him pay. So it was worth it. Yeah, it felt bad. I really liked that series. But to be perfectly honest with Assassin's Creed, I loved playing as Altair and Ezio more than my guy was like, the better part, I thought, and I love those games, and I think they're great games, but
For me, with Mass Effect, when I go in to do a game, no one said it was a trilogy. I was like, oh wow, there's another one? Okay, that's cool. And if someone does say it's a trilogy going in, I'm like, yeah, we'll see how the first one does. So I didn't know, I never expected anything, but there were some barriers that were broken on that I was phenomenally proud of. To bust the gender, barrier. I've been begging everybody to please let go of your gender assignments in casting unless someone specifically refers to their anatomy.
Have you played Borderlands? We have characters that are all shapes, sizes, genders, gender identities, sexualities. We have a gay cyborg. You know what I mean? Who has that, right?
That's why I love you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's
Borderlands, Tales from the Borderlands? Blast.
Oh, you like it?
It's awesome.
Borderlands is bad.
So,
Yeah, so
I don't get to do
that
it.
was great, and it was, the last session was like, bloop, okay. But then we got to do some DLC, it's just, I did get to go back and do the trailer, which was awesome. It was like a love letter to everybody. Everything moves forward, and it's time. It's time to move forward. It's great.
I have a character that nobody realizes that I did in Borderlands called TK Baja. And again,
Let's hear it.
So it's the only character that I've done that actually I use my real voice. So he sounds like my voice is shot. I've been at E3 all week, by the way. He's like, you should have seen the look on your face. Yeah, right? He's the blind one-legged mission giver. Well, what happened is that one of our level designers, Zach Ford, decided to kill him off, and nobody knew until the game was released and we were playing it, because there was just we weren't using the character anymore. At the end, you do this mission, so the next time you go back to his place, he's strung up, hanging upside down, he's been skinned, whatever, right? I'm like, nice surprise. Nobody knew. Zach did that on his own, so that was...
Do you think Zach's trying to give you a message?
You think? Yeah.
Does Zach work at Gearbox?
He sure does.
Still?
Sure does.
All right, you're a
Does
good
Zach
man.
know where you live?
I know where he lives. keeps us safe.
Can I tell you my
Your characters die all the time.
My dice, yeah. So I do Mario in real time, you know, and so kids can talk to Mario at like a Nintendo World Store. And this little child comes up to Mario and says, Mario, when you die, do you see God? And you know, it's like I'm willing to talk philosophy with anyone, but at certain times, and I didn't, that thing for a second, I went, no, I just go, wow! And then I push start again. So do the same thing if you ever die, just, wow!
Push start.
Push start.
There are those who say we do.
It's a good philosophy to have. All right, I think we've got another question from the other side of the room. Your side, yep.
All right, first of all, I'd just like to say thank you for everything you guys do. You've all been an integral part of my life, from childhood Mario to adulthood Nathan Drake. I've loved every minute of your guys' games. This question's for Charles Martinet, actually.
Oh, thanks.
Aside from Mario, I know you've done roles like Parthenax and Rokakagoshi and Jet Set Radio Future, you know, those sort of things.
Yeah.
What has been your favorite role outside of the Mario universe?
Wow, what's my favorite role? You know, I honest to goodness, I love every single thing I ever get to do, because it's all, come and play with a new toy in a sandbox, you know? So I love everything. I love doing Parthenax. That was really so fun, you know, what brings you to the throat of the world, you know? And you sit there like, you know, and I did that into a TV set with all this stuff, and you know, the dragon speech, we're sitting there talking dragon speech, and I would be reading that, you know, because you had a certain amount of time that's got to get in dragon speech, the max, and it's like you get to this thing, and it's like it goes, you know, next you will come to the retrieving track, you know, and I would have absolutely no idea, but you know, your brain starts going, your blood pressure starts going up, I didn't have a retrieving track, and then, I'm not sure that was right. I think that was retriever knock knock, you know? And we go, and so we talk about it, okay, now we do it again. Wait, we better call the writers, because they really wrote a language, dragon speech. And so they would call the writers, is it retrieving rock rock or is it rock rock? No, it's retrieving leak lock, you know? So then we do the tick, and it was like, it was just so fun. It was so cute to do that, you know? You know, it's like that whole language, and I got to speak it and forget it.
All right, we're gonna head back over this way, right in the center there.
Sorry about that.
You're up. And action.
Is that how it works?
Breathe.
Does now.
Yeah, don't worry, it's just us. We're just anybody. You could ask us anything.
What are your favorite games that you start in, and how good are you at them?
Oh, to actually
I
play
can
the
answer
game.
that one.
Oh.
I suck at all of them.
I'm terrible. I'm terrible. I just, my kids will just play, and I just watch them and cry. No, you know, because they'll try to teach me how to do it. You have to understand, I grew up in an era of button, joystick, and it was like two tanks.
I love that game.
People call it tanks, it's called combat.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh, you missed. That was me in the basement of my house. Now my kid's like, oh, you gotta hit X. I'm like, what? And you did. I looked down for a second. You have to be an engineer to run these things.
I never stopped playing games. I remember when Pong came out, and then Atari and Television, then ColecoVision, Atari 5200, and then we had that break into the NES, then all that whole era, and then when we had PC gaming, I just never stopped playing. I used to have some serious skills playing Quake and TF2 and that stuff. But now, thank you. One of the very first games I worked on was Quake Mission Pack #1. Not as a voice actor. I was just helping my buddies out. We were playtesting and shit like that. But here's what's funny. I have two boys. They're 14 and 11, and you know, I teach my kids how to play. We're all gamers. We have everything, but we're primarily like, you know, gaming rigs, PC gamers, whatever. PC Master Race. So there you go. So now I can't play with my kids because they use my face for a broom and my ass for a mop and just clean up the place, right?
It's exactly 14 and 11,
Yeah.
16 and 13,
Yeah.
same age, and they just destroy you, and they laugh.
Yeah, they do. My son toys with me like he's a cat and I'm a little mouse and whatever. And fucks with me, man. It's crazy, yeah. And then, so then I'm like, well, yeah, well, let's arm wrestle, you know, because he's a lot smaller than me. Show my dominance as a dad, right?
Yeah, and to answer their question specifically, though, I was just telling Charles that honestly, the Lego, like Star Wars and that stuff, I play with my kids on Wii and PlayStation. But Mario is my favorite. I've used up Mario Kart because I can whip their ass at Mario Kart. Because
Blue shell user. That's what he is.
They can't drive. They don't know, and I know how to take the corners. I know when to.
Unplug the controllers.
So that's actually been one of my favorites, and that one I'm okay at.
You know, do you ever play Super Mario Bros. Wii?
Oh yeah.
I love that game. The first time I saw the dancing drop, this is another gender bending thing, because many people think that all game developers are men. It was a woman who came up with the idea, the characters dancing. It's my favorite thing in the whole wide world in all video games, is that little moment. It's like, oh my God, I love that, you know? It's so cool. So let's hope it's the year of the woman. The lifetime of women.
Women and the man. That's the beautiful thing. Is like we don't have to leave anyone out. It's everybody.
Yeah, so it's inclusive. We can all
Because
come.
we each hold up half the sky.
Right?
Actually, if I may, we have some folks there here from the Ladies of the Round Table, and I'm a part of that. I'm the only guy on the board of that. That's nice. Thank you very much.
Smart man.
Savvy.
It's important for us as game developers to make sure that we have a lot of women in our industry, because when you're entertaining the world, you can't cut 50% of the people out of that, right? And so we want, especially at Gearbox, we probably have I don't know, but we have a lot of women. We encourage women to come and apply at Gearbox, to do the SMU at Guildhall program, whatever it is. There's a pathway there. And if you ever have any questions about it, there's a lot of women game developers that are also leaders and will be happy to answer questions. Just figure it out. Write us, write your heroes, whoever it is. Just please understand that there is a pathway, and it's not blocked. It's open to you. All you have to do is choose to take it. So I'm just sorry about that. It's a big thing for us at Gearbox. It's a real big deal. So
Fantastic.
That's good.
I'm pro-woman.
Another question over here.
All right. My name is Alex. Just thank you so much for being up there. It means so much to me to see you all, in front of me. My question is for Charles Martinet.
Oh, thanks.
Yes. I love you with Mario and everyone else.
Thank you.
Have you played, any of the, have you played the Nintendo games that you've starred in? And if so, like, which one was the first game you've played for Nintendo, and what's your favorite game?
This is great, because I wanted to answer part of that question too, about whether I'm good at the games, and I always get to that place where the princess is not in this castle. That's how good I am. But if I play Smash Brothers, I'm the guy in the bubble coming back 2 or 3 times, and that's about it. I don't even know what's happening in that game. I forget who I'm playing in that game.
I think this needs to happen on YouTube.
Oh,
I think this needs to happen on YouTube.
Well, it is funny because, when I play the games, I do all the sound effects. I go, "Ow, ow, 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 ow." And when I play Galaxy, I go like this.
Oh yeah.
I can't not do that. I forgot completely what you asked me.
And scene.
No, my favorite game of all time. Whether I play the games, yes, I play the games, not very well. Favorite game of all time. That moment with the dancing in Super Mario Bros. I also love, Super Mario Bros. Sorry. I love that one a lot. I like a lot of it.
Is that the question out there? Oh, okay, look.
My question for you is if you got along with your voice actors in your game.
Oh.
No. I hate everyone.
I mean,
they're all trying to take my kingdom.
Yeah.
Only me, Nolan.
No, the greatest thing about our job, in my opinion, is the people I get to work with. they're just, you know, people ask me, like, what role if somebody else did that you'd would have liked to have done? There's none. Because I really don't covet anybody else's role because I'm such a fan of everybody else. There's certain people I won't even audition. Like, I've got auditions for Wolverine. I'm like, no, that's Steve Bloom. I'm going to do a Steve Bloom impression poorly. Not that poorly. But you know, it's like you don't want to do that. So my favorite part of what we get to do, whether it's animated cartoons or anything, games, is the people I get to work with, because I'm astounded. I remember when I did Transformers Prime, and I remember the first time that, you know, I set my line, a smoke screen. I'm like, what are we going to do, Optimus? And to my left, I hear, Autobots, roll out. And just my goosebumps. I'm like, and there, you know, there he is. You know, and it's just amazing. It's Peter Cullen and Frank Welker and just all these big guys that I grew up just being such big fans of are now friends and colleagues. It's weird. It's weird, but that, I mean, that sounds a little, you know, a little hokey, but it's the truth. We really get along. And it's our favorite part. The worst part of the business is when you do a session all alone. It's like, oh, and then like Fred Tatasciore, just like, hey buddy, and he's leaving as you're going in, you're like, that's why the cons are great, because you get to see people and go, we actually go to dinner, you know, you have dinner, you're like, oh, okay, everybody's going to
It's the most delightful group of people ever, and I know for myself, I would not be anywhere near as skilled as I am if I have any skill at all. It's because of my peers, because I just copied them. I'm like, wow, she's amazing, let me try. You know, I think I was watching, I was catching a glimpse of Handy Manny, and Kath Soucy was in there. And I heard her open her mouth, and I flashed to the first session I ever sat in with Kath, and my jaw hit the floor, and I was like, that woman is the best actress I think I've ever heard, ever. Wow. One day I want to be half that good. And I sat down and I wrote her an email on the spot, and you know, this is 20 years later, and I was just like, you inspire me every day, and you're amazing, and I adore you.
And you're almost half that good.
One day.
Being judged based on their performance, and you know, you need to make people happy about it. You're gonna try to make people happy.
It's like what Charles was saying about the sandbox. It's a great analogy, because if you're the kid throwing the sand, you're out. Yeah. You're out, or we'll bury you under the sand. I'm not kidding. No, but it's true.
He must be such a great dad.
They're very good listeners.
I'll bet they are.
All right, let's see. We're running short of time, but we're not done yet, so we're going to do at least a few more questions over here.
All right, first, Jennifer Hale, I want to say, love Mass Effect, Dem Shep all the way. Nolan North, if you're looking for a way to get into Borderlands, man, you make a great Handsome Jack character.
Whoa!
They don't know. They don't know.
Did you not hear what he was just saying? He's like, he wouldn't want to do that because that's what Damien does, right? He would make a better than Handsome Jack character. That's what you meant to say.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Just
you'd be way better than Damien. You're more fun to work with. You're more handsome. You know. I know. By the way, I hope Damien sees this because this is what we do to each other.
Tales. Did anybody play Tales from the Borderlands?
Yeah.
Did they not play Tales from the Borderlands?
Borderlands 3, Handsome Jack.
Huh?
Borderlands 3, Handsome Jack.
Tales from the Borderlands, I'm August.
Yeah.
So I never
played it.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so you're
You're dead to me. I got in there with David, Handsome Jack, Patrick Warburton, Troy, and Laura, everybody. I get more people talk about that game, and
you're welcome. By the way, that was my deal. I came up with the idea and I named it and everything. Yeah.
I know, and it's like, but yeah, I mean, I'm going to keep working Gearbox for like the. I don't want to do Handsome Jack though. So you got to do new character. That's Damien's, and he's really good at it. You don't want somebody.
No, I agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
But my question is for Charles.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Yes,
I want to play all of them.
Charles, there's a lesser-known game that I'm really like fond of playing, and it's called Bit Trip Runner 2.
Oh, Bit Trip Runner 2!
Yes, and you're the announcer for it, and I love your voice in it. What was it like working for such an indie game like that?
They were so nice. These are the nicest guys in the world. They were so nice. You know, oh my goodness, it's so great to work with you. And they brought me a bottle of champagne at the end of the session. And it was so fun because you open the box and the bottle goes, whoop, came out. And whoop, whoop, whoop. It was the coolest thing. And then the second game, I was in London. They said, can you do this? And I was staying at a friend's house who converted a church into a house. And I was in one of the bedrooms, and I put the covers over my head and put them on the telephone, and then did the session underneath this bed in a church. You don't get to do that every day. That was so fun, and they're just so nice. I sure hope another one comes out, because they're great people, they're terrific people, and wonderful artists. Yeah, it's every experience is great. I mean, really, but it's just, I don't know how to say it. We're just the luckiest people in the world, and that's why I always wish for everybody, if you want to drive trucks with joy and passion in your heart.
And make voices in the truck.
And do voices.
That's good advice all around.
I certainly do that.
I like it. All right, we're going to try to squeeze in a couple more here, right there in the center.
Hi, you guys are all amazing, but I have a question for Nolan North. Can you do the Space Corps voice?
Space. Only space. Dad? Yes, son? Are you space? Yes, son. Space. Space. Hey, you know what I want to do? I want to go to space. You want to go to space? Let's go to space. 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 You know what I love? Space. Ooh. Space.
Now, you know what's funny? When that came out, everybody was like, oh, I love your Space Corps. I'm like, what? In Portal? I'm like, oh, I'm not in that. They're like, no, you are. I'm like, no, I don't think so. I don't, Portal, yeah, you were the space guy. And I'm like, I don't, and they brought their phone and they played it. People, I didn't realize we had done it. You know, sometimes you do games far in advance, and there's code names.
Yes.
So that might have been code named Warlock. I don't know. Do you know? Or Pineapple.
Yeah. Pineapple.
Was it Pineapple?
I was in that.
It could be. Where is Pineapple? And then all of a sudden they played. Somebody had downloaded all the lines back to back, and I started listening, going, oh yeah. Yeah, and people were like, did you ad-lib that? And then as much as I looked to take credit, no, the writers were hysterical in that game. And they just wrote this. We did Space Corps, Fact Sphere, and Adventure Corps. In the Adventure Corps, I am an expert at jujitsu, karate, and bedroom. All right. And it was great because he was this little robot and he kept hitting on the female character. And he could obviously do nothing. He just was this floating orb. It was great. That. You don't know. Well, yeah, you can do a lot with an orb, I suppose. I don't suppose.
We'll leave that one at that, I guess. Okay, over here we have our final question.
My question is for Nolan. I'm a big fan of Young Justice, and I wonder if you could tell us how close we are to getting to season 3.
I have no idea. I would do it in a heartbeat. Greg Weisman was just brilliant. We did those 2 seasons, and I get that question everywhere I go. Yeah, it was such a great series, great people to work with. It's a great cast. And yeah, you know, everybody keeps saying they're going to try to just do Netflix, do some kind of funding, but you know those worlds where Marvel, DC, or any of that time that's involved, and there's studios and DC, and there's just so much red tape that I don't know. I'm in if they do it. I will come back in and yell like Superboy for a while. That's the first time I got to be Superman too. So they're like, well, you're doing Superboy. Well, we need you to do Superman because he's a clone, and they would have the same, you know, vocal cords. I'm like, yeah, they would. So Superboy was just, you know, basically filled with angst, and then Superman was more serious. Yeah. So it's like, I was like, yeah, I got a T-shirt.
All right, before we wrap up, is there one more we're going to squeeze in? All right, as long as it's got to be a rapid fire question.
She came from Kuwait.
Okay, let's see. Let's hear it.
Hi, my name is Miriam, and I'm just a huge fan of all of your video games. My whole family, like every weekend, we all gather together and we just play all of your video games. Like it's a huge family thing, and because of you, like we've become so close as a family. So I just want to thank you. And I want to ask, what's the funniest thing that ever happened during your careers? Like a little like hiccup or something, like something really funny.
The funniest thing that ever happened in what?
During the career, anything that, in the studio, anything like that?
Funniest thing would be that I got a career. Wow.
That's a good question. Honestly, usually it's other people would know what the funniest thing is because you're not always self-aware. But if I may, real quick, I want to say something because my parents and my sister and my niece and nephew live in Kuwait. And they just flew to my house in Texas. They summer in Texas because probably as you summer not in Kuwait, right? It's too damn hot, right? Texas, it feels like air conditioning. Anyway, they're at my house waiting for me, where they're going to be there for 6 weeks, but they get back. But talk to me afterwards. I'd like to find out. You might even know my sister married into the Al-Dashti family, so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very small country, so we all know each other basically.
I'm not saying that everybody knows it, but it's actually not that big of a place. There are prominent families and so on, and so it's cool that you're here.
Yeah.
That's great.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jen.
This is not really funny, but I was doing Luigi, and I was like getting excited as Luigi, and I literally hit my head on the microphone, and I went, I bumped my head.
I cannot top that.
The real question is, did any coins come out?
Nice.
My head.
Any other funny stories that we can think of?
For me, the funniest thing is working with all the other people in the room. You know, we are surrounded by especially in animation sessions, it's like the worst 7th grade class you've ever been in, a clown.
Oh my God.
We can't even hear the director half the time because we're all like, director's like, excuse me, oh shoot, we're supposed to be working.
To speak to that is the Transformers Prime show. Darren Norris sat right to my right, and we were kind of in a line this way. The booth is there. I sat back here with Kevin Michael Richardson, and then Peter and Frank. I know where they stood. I remember Steve Bloom was there, but Darren sat right here, and he knew that I loved his Spotswood from the Team America movie. I got Gary. And he just and I did this one take, and I just looked up. And they were like, okay, hold a second. And I just looked to my right, and he's staring at me with his eyes crossed and a pencil hanging out of his nose. And he went, my God, Nolan, that's some of the finest acting I've ever seen. In the Spotswood voice, and every time I see him, I thank him for that. And that's like 4 years ago. It was a fun, just because it was like, I was trying to be serious, and I just looked, and he's just, I got Gary.
I don't think we could have put a cap on the Q&A any better than that one.
Darren Norris caps everything.
I was sitting in a session with Kevin Michael Richardson, and it was some kind of action thing, and I guess it was like an action sequence, and he's sitting by himself, he's just sitting there concentrating, and we did some scene, there's a heavy dialogue exchange, and he goes, shh, and we all looked at him, because he busted the tape, because it was supposed to be quiet, and I go, Kevin, that was out loud.
Yeah, I could tell you some Kevin stories, but then they'd take my children away. So, the first story is...
Settle in, folks. Before we put a cap on this phenomenal session here on stage, I want to go down the row one last time and ask if any of these fine people, they need to know what you're working on now, what's coming up, anything that they haven't heard from you yet. Now is the chance to...
I'm working on this great new project. It's a non-disclosure agreement. And, it is true. It's called Pineapple. No, I'm joking. Hey, we're not allowed to speak about anything that we're doing because it's a very, I like to say we love surprises. Not the kind of things that surprise that, you told somebody, but it's a very secretive industry because we want the surprise to be for fans to go, oh my gosh, there it is. But it's when they want to announce it. So lots of fun things are coming, I can guarantee that.
I can tell you what some of the things we're working on. Our next game that's going to come out is Borderlands 3.
That's because he writes the NDAs.
I can't tell you when it's going to come out, and but I can tell you it's probably going to be $60, right? There'll be some DLC, and it'll be a lot of fun. And there's going to be this one is being written by the original writer of Borderlands. Mikey Newman is back on taking it, and it's looking really, really good. I gotta tell you, I love Borderlands too. I played the shit out of Borderlands. I probably put in, even before it comes out, I probably put in about 500 hours into the game just because I dig it so much. And then afterwards, I play with my kids and so on, and so I've got way more hours in Borderlands as a player than I probably put in at the office. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's with Borderlands 3. And then we have, what can I say we're coming out with? Actually, I can't say any of the other stuff. There's some really cool shit that we got going on though. Yay! Yay!
And I'm under the NBA umbrella too, but there's like 3 or 4 animated shows that are in the works right now that are coming, just recurring mostly on those, but a lot of episodes. Some Amazon, Netflix, that's all I can say. And some game stuff you're going to like. But not like that, but like that.
Well, with a lot of the, like you said, the NDAs, you can't do it with the games and things like that, but we're continuing to roll in Destiny, doing Ghost.
By the way, thank you. Thank you. Listen, when you hear a robot sidekick, trust me, I know. I was so disappointed with the first performance. No, but your performance is fucking great, man.
Oh,
thank you. It made the game that much better for me.
Well,
I played Destiny.
Eyes up, we've woken the hive.
So we're doing that, but one thing I'm excited about is last year we did Con Man with Alan Tudyk and Nathan Fillion. And we have cut a deal with Lionsgate, and we are now in this process of shooting season 2. I shot last week, I'm shooting this week coming up, and we're going to debut some of that footage at San Diego Comic-Con, and Jerry Lanza Mocap King will be back in full effect in a bigger way. And more importantly, we also are launching at the end of the summer. I'm producing my first game, a mobile app game of Con Man, and we're working with PJ Harsma, Nathan Fillion, Tudyk, myself, Felicia Day is part of it. We're Freema Studios is making the game, and you actually go and you make your own con. And it's one of those you actually you put in your booths and
everybody's fantasy, right?
And it's all the characters from the Con Man series, and it's I get this they send the development game to me because I'm a producer. And literally I'm like, okay, and I've always been more of a console guy, and I can't stop playing because they've mixed making your own game and making your own con and managing it, getting it, and expanding it as you make them. I was up all night last night. It's not like walking. I was up all night. I was playing this game, but I was. And then what happens is aliens will attack, and you have to. Then it switches over to where you're actually playing an active game. So it's one of these mobile games that's interactive as well, and we're going to launch that the end of the summer, and it's really exciting, and I think everybody who's into these cons all over the world are going to love it. So it's like a drug deal, free to play.
Welcome to the industry, Nolan.
It's free to play. Free to play. First taste is free. But it's a lot of fun. I mean, I like I said, I got addicted on it, and now I got to go back because I think one of my booths is on fire.
Excuse us.
Well, on behalf of all the fans here, I want to thank the 4 of you for being here for this Q&A. I want to thank you for...
Thanks, you guys.